Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to talk about the quarterly earnings of the McDonald's, which is, of course, one of our favorite company. And I'm quite sure that at some point in time, you would have tried its food offering because we all love burgers and the fries. In past, it has been doing well. Its business has been on a sustainable growth track. And if we look at its earnings, which we are going to, of course, look at in details, we will find that its revenues are growing, its net profit is also on the higher side, and as expected, its share price has also been moving upward for a while now. But then you might be thinking that why the title is McDonald slightly bearish, simply because I'm talking about the current scenario where its stock price is moving in a downward fashion. It has been trading downward for last couple of weeks, and in the near term, if we are talking about next few weeks, I'm not really expecting any big rebound. So this is the context where we have to consider its immediate proclivity and then consider the kind of decisions regarding the trading and investment we can make. So we will consider these quarters earnings, the first quarter's earnings for the McDonald's, which were on the growing side. This is the condensed consolidated statement of comprehensive income, and this is the statement of income. For the quarter ended March 31st, 2024, the total revenues were at US dollar 6.169 billion, which is growth of around 4 percentage point in the total revenues year over year. That simply points to the business growth. The revenues can rise only in two scenarios: if total sales are increasing, or if the sales are not really increasing, then the price realization from the existing sales has to go up. So that is the only combination possible which can push the revenues higher. And then if we consider the total operating cost and expenses, there has not been much of an increase in the operating cost. There has been increase, but the growth in the operating expenses is comparatively lower than the growth we have in the top line, that is revenue. So this time around, we have better operating income. Then comes interest expense and non-operating expenses, and we have the net income at US dollar 1.929 billion, which is growth of around 7 to 8 percentage point, and this is much better a growth figure in comparison to the growth which we are seeing in the top line, simply because, as I have said in explaining the operating cost, the rise in the operating cost has not been commensurate with the rise in total revenues. So there is gain on the efficiency front. The operations of the McDonald's have seemingly got more efficient, and the company has been able to save money in its cost of running the business. We have this growth in the EPS, and it has also declared higher dividend this time around of US dollar 1.67 in comparison to the dividend of 1.52 a year back. The earnings report seem all good. There is growth in the bottom line, in the top line, and not seem not much seems to be going wrong for the company. It has also been trying to expand its operations and make it a leaner and more efficient company. Now, let us look at how the company has spent its cash. It generated operating activity cash of US dollar 2.939 billion, which is tad lower, slightly lower in comparison to 2.42 billion cash generated by operations a year back. And this is because there has been higher deferred income taxes, which is taking away around 50 million more this time around. That is one big difference. Apart from that, other items are much or less on the similar footing, and changes in working capital item is also contributing much lower this time around, only at 70 million. From the cash generated by operation, US dollar 2.493 billion were spent for the investing activity, which is also a huge jump in comparison to the cash utilized last time around of just 741 million. Similarly, on the financing activity, the cash outflow is almost sevenfolds in comparison to what was the cash outflow on account of financing activity a year back. This is because there has been spending for repayment of the long-term financing, long-term debt. The net short-term borrowing has also been repaid. There has been payment for the short-term borrowings and the long-term borrowings. There has also been purchases of the treasury stock. So this has resulted in the total cash outflow of US dollar 3.66 billion, and resultantly the company's cash pile, the cash at hand, has gone down significantly. But still, given the nature of the business McDonald is in, it is expecting its customers to stick by. It is quite confident about its business operations and the cash it can generate from the businesses. And if need arises, it can always raise money from the market because it has a profitable business which is generating quite a lot of profit quarter over quarter. And as I said, it is a business where there is not much of an fluctuation in the profitability. We are not really expecting any big change in the earnings for the McDonald. So in the next quarter, the McDonald and its shareholders can be quite confident about achieving similar profits to what we are seeing this quarter, and that is what gives its stock price a steady trajectory. We don't really see any big moves happening in the McDonald's stock overnight. It is a slow moving stock, and it has also a well defined trajectory most of the time. For a while now, it has been bearish, and even in today's trading session, it is trading with bearish undertone. And there is not much to worry about this bearishness. I think it is simply correcting from the higher levels. It has been consolidating for last many has been finding resistance close to the 300 price mark, and from there on it has declined this time around, as now it is getting closer to which is there around 240 250 price band. Now it is going to be interesting to see how things unfold this time around, whether it finds support or if it continues to go lower, or if it reverses course and starts rising again. Now that is something which only time can tell, but what we can do is try to anticipate and then position ourselves accordingly for profiting from the price action which we are seeing in the McDonald's stock. So if your outlook is just for next few days, I would say adopting a sell on rally approach is the best thing to do. Even in today's trading session, there was this opportunity For last couple of days, it has been consolidating closer to these 260 mark, and then there is this drop over last two trading sessions from closer to 260 to now closer to 2, and I'm quite confident that this time around it is likely to drop below this immediate swing low of 249. We are likely to see it decline further, but of course we can never be too sure, and that is why it is quite important for us to get the risk reward ratio right, and for that we need a optimum entry and exit point, and that is why I said adopting a sell on rally approach is a must while making trading and investment decisions. So for next few trading sessions, I'm expecting its bearishness to prevail, but then I feel here it is going to be important to pay attention to the price action closer to the 258 to 260 price band, as we have the immediate swing high around 261. As long as the price action remains below that, we can be fairly confident of the continuity in this bearish downturn and try to profit from it by deploying sell on rally approach in the next few sessions. Now expanding our horizon to medium term, I have changed this candle period to daily since it made its peak around 302 back in January 2024. We have seen this steady downward decline in the stock prices of the MACD, and at the current price level, it has been finding some buying support. But if we look at its bump from these lower level, it has been making lower lows. So again, that makes it questionable to rely on these immediate support which is there around 249 250, and it will be interesting to see how things unfold over next few trading sessions. I am quite confident that there is a strong possibility of further decline below these immediate swing low, and if it happens that way, we will have a fresh formation of lower lows and lower highs, and accordingly we can position ourselves as and when there is a pullback from the lower levels and the price action again inches back closer to the immediate swing high, while not really rising beyond these immediate swing highs. So we still have the formation of lower lows and lower highs, as is the case with short term. So is with the medium term, it is all bearish. Now coming to the long term, I have changed the candle period to weekly. I think we will have to wait for a few seconds to chart to load. In the long run, it has been finding resistance closer to the 300 mark. In the year 2023 as well, we saw the price reaching fairly close to this 300 mark, and from there on it went into decline again to sub 250 levels. From there on it rebounded strongly. Is finding support closer to these prior swing lows, and this is going to be interesting here whether it is able to find support this time around or not. It's too early to say because we haven't seen any strong buying happening in this current decline. That is why I still feel that it's too early to say that the stock price is going to reverse. If it changes course first on the short term and then maybe on medium term, we can think about getting involved with this consolidation phase of MACD where it is getting some support on the lower levels. But that's too early to say, and we will have to go with the flow, which is bearish in the medium term, in the short term, but not so bearish in the long run. It has been making higher highs and higher lows in the long term since pandemic days, where it had dropped sharply towards 120 level, and then it rebounded quite well and has been going up and up since then. Now it is trading closer to these immediate swing lows. It was in a strong rally, and we only need the confirmation that rally is still fueling its upward trajectory. And if it is a formation of higher low this time around as well, we will be patient to capitalize on the next move on the higher side. But we need to give it more time, and in course of next few weeks, we will have much more clarity for any trading and investment decisions to make in long run. So that is my take looking at the current price trajectory of the McDonald share price. It has been going downhill since the start of the year, and it is not really showing any signs of changing course at the moment. And that calls for some restraint from our side, and some patience is likely to help us in navigating these turn of event. Thank you all for joining in. If you have found the session informative and useful for your reading purpose, do like and subscribe to the channel. You can also write to me in the feedback, and we would be pretty happy to take the discussion forward. See you next time around. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous time ahead, a profitable day ahead. Goodbye.